Hello, I'm speaking to you from the writing shed of a rather famous poet. And can I start by saying a name? Wordsworth. It's just a name, but I suspect that most people know exactly who I'm talking about. It's just a name, but you hear it every day in some broadcast, or you can read it several times a week in the papers. Streets, buildings bear the name, and there's even a cruise ship on the River Danube. But hold on, Wordsworth? That's my name. I'm Antony Wordsworth. It's my family name. It's what we boys were called at school. So what do we, the family, call the person that you are now thinking about? Well, affectionately we refer to him as WW, or the poet, or occasionally great-grandfather William. Few of us claim to be Wordsworth scholars, but hopefully we should have read rather more than just the daffodils. There have, of course, been other members of the wider family who have reached pinnacles of their careers, but seemingly they are not remembered by the single name Wordsworth. As an example, the poet's younger brother Christopher became Master of Trinity College, Cambridge. One of his sons, Charles, was Bishop of St Andrews, while a second son, another Christopher, became Bishop of Lincoln. So, briefly, there could have been 3 Bishops Wordsworth. But the difference is that we and they are all individually identified by our Christian names or a location, while for our revered ancestor, the poet, the name Wordsworth is enough. We don't mind. In fact, we're delighted that he's so well known. Besides which, if you do add William to Wordsworth, then, according to our genealogical memoranda, going back to the year 1392, there were many other Wordsworths, William Wordsworths. There could have been confusion, and yet there isn't. We hear the name Wordsworth and we still think of just one person. What I'm saying is that however much we try, great-grandfather William has shown us how exceptional anyone's work needs to be to leave something really memorable behind. That he and his work are still so well regarded 250 years after he was born and 170 years since he died is nothing short of remarkable and a challenge to us all. I'm speaking today on behalf of the poet's descendants. But what about his own immediate family? One might think that after some 220 years, there would be no way to find such detail, but it's all there in the amazing collection of letters and writings from William, Dorothy and Mary, as well as their family and friends. William Wordsworth was my generation's 3 times great-grandfather, and to keep this about the family, I thought it would be interesting to find something about his relationship with his immediate family, and in particular with his eldest son John, our 2 times great-grandfather. In Anecdote for Fathers, William wrote, "I have a boy of 5 years old. His face is fair and fresh to see. His limbs are cast in beauty's mould, and dearly he loves me." They discuss the boy's preference for a holiday location, Kilvey, and the poem ends, "Oh, dearest, dearest boy, my heart for better lore would seldom yearn, could I but teach the 100th part of what from thee I learn." So, seemingly they had a pretty close relationship. But then we have something about his daughter, Catherine, from characteristics of a child 3 years old, written in 1811. Loving she is, and tractable, though wild, and innocence hath privilege in her to dignify arch looks and laughing eyes. Solitude to her is blithe society, who fills the air with gladness and involuntary songs. A happy child, well observed by her father, but tragically, Catherine and her brother Thomas both died the following year in 1812, while they were still at Grasmere. What did William say about the rest of his family? In a letter to his wife Mary, he wrote from London in May of the same year, just a few days before Catherine died. He wrote, "I am as a husband and a father and a brother, the blessedest of men." It seemed the happiest of households, but life breeds its own sadness, and there were tragic deaths during William's lifetime. Firstly, his brother John, in a shipwreck in 1805. Then the two children just mentioned, 2 children, can you imagine, in 1812. And finally his other daughter, Dora, in 1841. William himself died on the 23rd of April, 1850. But what a blow to the family each of those deaths must have been. Back to the present. And finally, I would like to pay tribute to those tasked with maintaining the interest in the poet's work, with preserving his memory, with looking after his possessions and widening the interest in his poetry. There are researchers, curators, lecturers, writers, publishers, printers, booksellers, teachers, readers, and nowadays listeners, viewers, producers and publicists. A whole industry. The list and your roles are endless. Thank you all for making it so much easier for us to study and understand.